Leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Good blood, bad blood. Good blood, bad blood. Good blood, bad blood. Unique New York. 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 Toy boat. Toy boat. Toy boat. Toy boat. Toy boat. Toy boat. 11 benevolent elephants. 11 benevolent elephants. 11 benevolent elephants. 11 benevolent elephants. The black bug bled black blood. The black bug bled black blood. The black bug bled black blood. Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I am a thistle sifter. I have 7 sieves of unsifted thistles, and 7 sieves of sifted thistles, for I am a thistle sifter. Amidst the mists of fiercest frosts, with barest wrists and stoutest boasts, he thrusts his fists against the post, and still insists he sees the ghost. Amidst the mists of fiercest frosts, with barest wrists and stoutest boasts, he thrusts his fists against the post, and still insists he sees the ghost. Oh, what to do tonight today, at a minute or two to 2, a thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do, for they'll beat a tattoo at 20 to 2, a rat-a-tat-tat, a tat-a-tattoo, and the dragon will come when he hears the drum, at a minute or two to 2 today, at a minute or two to 2. She stood on the balcony, inexplicably mimicking him hiccuping, and amicably welcoming him in. She stood on the balcony, inexplicably mimicking him hiccuping, and amicably welcoming him in. Every single syllable I speak upon the stage has been specifically, scientifically selected to stimulate the sections of your cerebrum that set and sustain a certain satisfying psychological state. 1 hen. 1 hen, 2 ducks. 1 hen, 2 ducks. 3 squawking geese. 1 hen, 2 ducks. 3 squawking geese. 4 corpulent porpoises. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises, 5 Limerick oysters. 1 hen, 2 ducks. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises, 5 Limerick oysters. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises, 5 Limerick oysters, 6 pairs of Don Alfonso's tweezers. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises, 5 Limerick oysters, 6 pairs of Don Alfonso's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonian warriors in full battle array. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises, 5 Limerick oysters, 6 pairs of Don Alfonso's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonian warriors in full battle array. 8 brass monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt, 9 apathetic, diabetic, sympathetic old men on roller skates with a marked propensity for procrastination and sloth. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. All right, I think we got about 1 minute left. Greetings to anybody who's here. And look forward to seeing you soon, those of you who aren't. All right. Going to sing a couple songs today, so I'm going to do a little warm-up that way. La 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 la. 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 All right, let's make some magic. Good morning and welcome to Johnny Millwater's Happy Place. I'm your host, Johnny Millwater. I'm very glad you're here. Still haven't fixed this. We'll figure it out someday. But it's going to be a great... Hey, wait, wait a minute. That's Ms. Mayrow. That is my sister, Stephanie. How you doing, Stephanie? I was just visiting Dad this very week, as a matter of fact. We were talking about you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for checking your head in. If you haven't been paying attention, I've been gone for the last 2 weeks. The week before last, I was visiting Dad, as I just said, and last week I had COVID. I was so sick I couldn't leave the house for about a week and a half, so I'm very excited to be back. I got a lot of fun stuff to read about today. Plus, well, thank you. Very glad to hear it. And I'm glad you're doing good. Let's see. This week, if we have a theme, it's my birthday. Tomorrow is my 46th birthday. I have one every year, but I'm going to be 46. It's a phase, but it's fun. And I'm excited, and I got a few of my favorite things picked out. We got a few requests. We got a few of my favorites. So if there's anything you'd like to hear, never hesitate to request. Until such time, let's go to the chat chalet, see how everybody's feeling. Thank you very much for the happy birthday, Stephanie. I appreciate you. How are you doing this week? You okay? We'll do roses and thorns a little bit later, but I like to check in. Did you get COVID yet? I always like to find out. Everybody I know got COVID this week, but I got it from them. We went down to visit my dad, and we also went down to visit my wife's parents. And while we were visiting my wife's parents, it was her dad's birthday. So at her dad's birthday party, my wife's sister's son ended up having COVID, and I got sick. So I got sick. I think Ryan and Charlotte got sick, and then I got sick. Dad did not get sick, thank goodness. But, oh, hey, it's my birthday almost. Tomorrow's my 45th birthday. Hi, Shayna. I was just explaining how I had COVID last week. We weren't doing a broadcast. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Glad you're here. I miss you. I haven't talked to you in weeks and weeks. I was thinking about you all day yesterday. We got all kinds of fun to look at. How was your week? You all right? Let's see. Will you please remind me which city you're in, Stephanie? I know it's not Plant City. That's a different guy. I know it's a wonderful Florida city, but the name of it escapes me. Both Shayna and I are in Charlotte, North Carolina, even as we speak, I think. Are you in Charlotte this week, Shayna? Louisville. Wasn't even close. Louisville, Kentucky. Can't even keep my head straight anymore. Beautiful place. I didn't even know. Nice. Do you bet on horse racing? I don't know. I got to think of some cool things to say about Louisville. And you're in Charlotte. Very nice. I am also in the CLT. All right, we're all checked in. Got all kinds of fun stuff for you. Let's start with my favorite sonnet, because it's my birthday. This is the first sonnet I ever learned, and one of the only sonnets I really like. Actually, you know what? We'll just go straight there. Let's go to Shakespeare stage. I missed you this past few weeks, too, and thank you. I am feeling much better, much better than I was last week, that's for sure. I even had to miss a show. I hate missing a show. Did you end up going to that one? How was it? Tell me all about it. This is, let's see, we have picked out, thank you very much, we and my staff, we have picked out my very favorite sonnet. I know this one by heart, but I'm going to put it up on the teleprompter anyway, just in case. This is sonnet number 29 by William Shakespeare, and it's about being, even though everybody hates me and I hate myself, I still love you. That's kind of what it's about. Here we go. Sonnet 29 by William Shakespeare. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy, contented least. Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising, haply I think on thee. And then my state, like to the lark of break of day at rising, from sullen earth sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that I scorn to change my state with kings. That's a fun one. All right. Oh, good, good, good. I wanted to hear about that. Shayna said, I missed you these past few weeks. I've missed you too. I was sick last week, or I would have been there for sure. I wonder if you show. Thank you for the happy birthday. You did. Oh, you got to see it with Will Spann. That's awesome. I'm so glad. I was worried about that. I felt really, really bad. I had to back out on you. You were kind enough to invite me, and I wasn't able to go. I'm so glad that you did get to go. Did you get to see Craig and his wife there, Kathy? I know you were planning to. And how's Will doing? I haven't seen him socially in far too long. Not since that last show we did that you came and gave me the VHS of Dead Poets Society. A phenomenal show for everyone who hasn't seen it. Very, very good. Craig and his family went there the night before. Oh, I'm sorry. I knew you were planning on seeing him there. All right. It's a great show. Does it cover, I'm curious, does it cover just Back to the Future 1, or does it play in Back to the Future 2 and Back to the Future 3? I was curious if it had the entire trilogy involved. I don't know. Type up more. It's time to spin the wheel. Just the first one. What a gem. That's not, I can't say that anymore. What a tragedy. There you go. That's a bit much, but at least it's not offensive. Ooh, jokes. Cool, I got a couple new jokes. I hope Dad comes in today because he had a couple new jokes and I forgot what they were. He told me when I saw them and I didn't write them down like a dummy. So let's see. Here's one of my this isn't a dad joke. This is a street joke and it's one of my all-time favorites. I'm going to tell you, it's one I heard from John Cleese personally. Power of Love and Earth Angel and Johnny Be Good. Good. I love that part. Johnny Be Good, the Back to the Future version of the Johnny Be Good was my first comedy music, entrance music after Magic Man. I used to be Johnny the Magic Man, Millwater, and then when I started doing stand-up, Johnny Be Good. Let's see. Let us do, here we go. Two Catholics, wait, hold on. Two Jews are walking down the street, and they see a sign in front of a Catholic church. The sign says, convert to Catholicism, get $5,000. So one fellow turns to the other, he says, I'm going to go see what that's about. So he goes inside. He's in there for about 10, 15 minutes. He comes back out smiling. His friend's like, well, did you get the money? His friend says, is that all you people care about? Love that joke. It all happened so fast. Now, it says here that they had the Power of Love, Earth Angel, and Johnny Be Good, and it was very similar to the movie with a few slight changes. What were some of the changes that stood out? Probably the reference at the very end. The mall stuff, it's hard to build an entire new set for the mall stuff. I'm not normally into musicals that much, but this is great. That makes me so sad. I love musicals. I can't get enough of it. How were your seats? Was it nice? Did you get to feel the full rush of the orchestra? I never get sick of that. Oh, man, I wish I could have gone. And I miss Will Spann a lot. We should get together for brunch this week. My restaurant is still closed. So I want to go up into your corner. We'll go out to the place you picked out if you want. We can catch up. All right, this is nice. Let's spin the wheel, see what's next. Pros! Meet me in the pros department. Oh, cool! The DeLorean has a voice feature. Does it sing a song? Is there a song from the Time Machine's point of view? Because I kind of want to hear the song from the Time Machine's point of view. That sounds amazing. Okay. Let's see. The pros. It's an interesting thing with you, Shayna. I read all your social media stuff when it pops up. And this week I've discovered, I know you don't like sonnets. I know you don't like poetry in general. And you're not crazy about musicals. So I'm just trying to figure out what brings you to the show. This is great. Yeah, I want to share some more things you like too. But the car didn't talk that much, so it wasn't annoying or anything. Good. How was Dad? Was the talk about me good or bad? Oh, it was good. It was just good about him having a chance to see you for Father's Day. He hadn't seen you in forever. No, Dad's doing very well. Andy's no longer living there with him. I think Andy's moved in with his young lady. And Dad's on his own with the cat. He claims to be very, very happy on his own with the cat, but I think he could probably use a lot more visits. I'll try to get down there myself more often. I think we might be a year, maybe 2 years from getting a nurse, someone who needs to be there to help him all day. Just getting up and getting down is a little bit problematic for him, but his mind is sharp as ever, and his lovely company. He's a great guy. I love my dad. So nice to see him. We got to sit there. That was one of the roses. I'll talk about roses and thorns in a while, but my son and I, and my daughter too, we got to sit and talk about the Millwater name and the two brothers that came over from England and Dad's history and his dad's history. And it was really nice. It was really fun to have that conversation. So that was a good time. What did you guys do? What did you talk about while you were there? I mean, when you were down in Florida, you came all the way down to see Dad, which is amazing, for Father's Day. What did you guys talk about? He said that you ended up not going to a restaurant, but you had brunch there at the house. So I'm just curious, what kind of conference? Baseball. That sounds about right. We did watch quite a bit of baseball. Oh, while I was down there, we talked about family, we watched baseball, but mostly we watched Ted Lasso. I finally talked Dad into watching Ted Lasso, which is an absolutely wonderful program on Apple TV. Kind of the only reason to get Apple TV at this point, but it's worth it. I've seen the series 3 times all the way through, and it's better every single time. It's about soccer. That's why I bring it up. Dad loves baseball, but he also was interested in soccer. So there you go. Just hung out and floated in the pool. Very good. I'm glad he's keeping the pool going. The kids love it. I don't go out in the pool anymore, but the kids absolutely love having something to run their energy out. Now, Shayna says, I was hoping you might record an episode of Happy Place while you were visiting with your dad. I would have loved to, but there's a bunch of equipment. I got to bring the green screen with me, and I got to bring the laptop, and I have a light right here, and I have a whole bunch of cables, and there wasn't room in the car with everything. We couldn't even bring the dogs down for that trip, so I couldn't bring this stuff for the Happy Place. It would have been nice, though, to have Dad sit in, but I don't think he would have done it. But it was a lovely thought, and I appreciate it. But we talked, and it was great. Okay, pros. See, you're so easily distracted nowadays. I picked out some pros for you. This specifically was for Dad. How were the dogs? Poop emoji. That's about right. Very, very badly trained, very, very, very sweet. They poop on the floor every morning, and usually once in the afternoon. Catch them, I correct them, I shake the can of coins. They fight all the time, constantly nipping at each other. It's crazy. But every now and then they'll sit and be still, and they'll sit in my lap while I watch TV, and it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. I'm glad you asked about the dogs, because I picked out a longer piece by George Carlin about cats and dogs. I'm a huge George Carlin fan, as I know Dad is. The dogs, let's see, they were born in December, so I guess they're about 7 months old, 7.5, give or take. But they are trouble. All right, how's Pepper doing? Pepper okay? I saw a couple pictures of your other dog and a couple pictures of Pepper this week. Never enough pictures of Pepper. I don't know why. Pictures of my dog always feel so boring. Pictures of everybody else's dog make me happy every single time. All right, it's a long one. But it is, it's George Carlin, so you can't do much better than that. This is called Cats and Dogs by George Carlin. A cat is not a dog. Most people understand that cats are completely different from dogs, and generally they like them for different reasons. One quality people like in cats is their independence. They appreciate a pet who can take care of himself. I never have to do a thing. He cleans his room, makes his own clothing, and drives himself to work. Unlike dogs, who are needy and dependent and who like you merely because you know where the food is located, cats don't get all hung up on fake affection. They don't go nuts and slobber all over you when you come home the way a dog does. They parcel out a certain limited amount of physical affection from time to time. But it probably has more to do with static electricity than anything else. Part 2, not me. Cats have another quality I find admirable, blamelessness. When a cat makes a mistake, he doesn't accept responsibility or show embarrassment. If he does something really stupid, like jumping onto a table and landing in 4 separate coffee cups, somehow he passes the whole thing off as routine. Dogs aren't like that. If a dog knocks over a lamp, you could tell who did it by looking at the dog. He acts guilty and ashamed. Not the cat. When a cat breaks something, he simply moves along to the next activity. What's that? The lamp? Not me. Fuck that. I'm a cat. Something broken? Ask the dog. A cat can make any mistake appear intentional. Have you ever seen a cat race across the room and crash into a glass door? It doesn't faze him at all. Splat. I meant that. Actually meant that. That's actually what I was trying to do. And then he limps behind the couch, holding his head. Oh, jeez, he's fucking meow. Goddamn fucking meow. Your cat is much too proud to let you see him suffer, but if you look behind the couch, you'll see him recuperating from a domestic mishap. Aye, tried to jump from the sofa to the window, didn't make it, tore a ligament, got milk. Cats are very tactile. They love to rub against your leg. If you own a cat and you have a leg, you've got a happy cat. Oh boy, I'm rubbing against his leg. How I love his leg. If you have two legs, you've got yourself a party. Oh boy, 2 legs. Now I could do the figure 8. They love to do the figure 8. Around one leg, in between, and then around the other. Boy, oh boy, I'm doing the figure 8. He'll rub against your legs even if you're not there yet. You might be 20 feet down the hall. As soon as he sees you coming, he starts walking sideways. He doesn't want to miss a shot at your legs. Soon he'll be doing the figure 8. Here he comes. Cats are so tactile, you don't even have to do the petting. All you need to do is put your hand somewhere near the cat, and he'll lean into you and do all the work. They love to push back. And then there's the ass trick. You ever stroke a cat who's lying absolutely flat, and before you've run your hand halfway down his back, his ass is sticking way up in the air, as if you pressed an ass button or something? Isn't he a cute little, holy shit, how did he do that? Okay, sometimes, if he's on the bed with you, he'll climb onto your chest and stick his ass right in your face. Hey, here's my ass. Check out my ass, Daddy. Get a nice, clean look at my ass. And then while he's showing you his ass, he starts that kneading thing with his paws, like he's playing the piano. God, I hate that. Get him off me. Jesus, I hate that. I don't even know what that is. And I hate that. It's as if he got some hold of some bad drugs. What is that? It's an instinctive nicing behavior, honey. He misses his mommy. You always say that. You say that about the mailman. Dog moments. Fido doesn't care. Dogs have no priorities or schedules. You rarely see a dog with a wristwatch. Most things they do, they will do anywhere at any time, except for the things you teach them not to. Lads low, don't ever do that again. If you do, I'll beat the shit out of you. They do catch on to suggestions like that, but basically a dog doesn't care what he does. He'll simply do whatever's next. He doesn't really know what's next, but he'll think of something. He might even do 2 things in a row that don't go together. Did you ever see a dog trotting through a room, apparently headed somewhere, and suddenly he stops and chews his back for about 8 minutes, as if the whole thing were scheduled for that exact moment, and then, finally, when he's finished chewing, he forgets where he was going in the first place and just sort of looks around, confused. Let's see, where was I going? Shit, I forget. Seemed important at the time. Well, I guess I'll just lie here under this chair. Hey, it's nice under here. I must do this more often. He doesn't know. He doesn't care. Like I said, he'll do anything at any time. He might even embarrass you when you have company. You might have some folks over to the house, folks you don't know too well, folks you're trying to impress. Hell, you might even be trying to borrow money from one of these assholes. And all those people are sitting around the living room, and you put out some chips and a little dip, carrot sticks, maybe a light buffet, and everybody is eating nicely and chatting politely, and the dog is lying there on the floor in full view. And suddenly, you glance over and you realize that the dog is licking his balls vigorously. Big, long, loving licks in full view of everyone, and no one is saying a word. Remember now, a spectacular thing is taking place. A naked, living creature is administering a modified form of autofellatio in the presence of strangers. Not only is it a spectacular act, it's difficult to do. If I could do that, I'd never leave the house. And yet, it goes unremarked. And if someone does say something, it's usually innocuous. Oh, look, isn't that cute? He's taking a bath. No, Carla, that's not a bath. That's called licking your balls. If that's a bath, I'd have to say it's a mighty selective one. He's been on that one spot for over an hour now. Then the dog trots over and tries to lick your face. No, 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 Bruno, no, down, Bruno. Nice doggy. Oh, don't worry about that. Don't you know they have the cleanest mouth of any animal? Well, I'm not a chemist, Velma. I'm just basing my judgment on his most recent activity, which you'll recall was licking his balls. There's some pros. All right, Shayna, way to go. Let's see what we got now. Let's see what Shayna says. Pepper is the best thing in my life. Well, I'll try not to take that personally. I'm kidding, of course. Pepper is the best thing. Dogs are amazing. If you ever want to take the dogs for a leisurely stroll with me and Pepper, let me know. I'll think about it. It's mostly about location and figuring out how to get the dogs there. Let's see. Let's do brunch with you, me, and Will Spann. We can go over the details of my funeral. Marvelous. I love brunch with you and Will Spann because I love both of you guys. Craig Carlin agreed to lead the congregation in the safety dance. Very nice. Oh, I remember you guys working on that together. Oh, that'll be lovely. Shayna said, and Adam kind of agreed to photograph the whole thing. Now, let me bring the other viewers up to speed. My sister, I think, is still watching. Shayna is not ill, as far as I know, but she doesn't have any close family, so she is deciding the details of her own funeral the past few months. It's been a hobby. And I will be in charge of distributing her art, her paintings, and I will be in charge of singing We Meet Again at the actual funeral, or whatever it ends up becoming. Will Spann's going to do some material. And, of course, Craig is now going to lead the congregation in the safety dance, which is good, because I can dance if I want to. I can leave my friends behind because my friends, they don't dance. And if you don't dance, well, you're no friend of mine. Having said that out loud, it's very confusing. But, yeah, I'll give it a shot. You ever give any thought, Stephanie, you still in there? You ever give any thought to your own funeral? I hadn't thought about it until Shayna asked me about it at brunch. And I still haven't found an idea I like. I wanted to get burnt in the woods. Like in a big giant pile of sticks, but apparently the temperature doesn't go high enough to destroy a human body. So I got to come up with an alternate plan. Now I'm looking into rowboats and bows and arrows. My best friend will run around with me in a jar and scream, "I got a jar of dirt, and guess who's in it? Yee-haw! It's Steph! Woo! Woo! Hey, what's that other? Steph!" I got you. He'll just spread your ashes at random. In life, she loved to litter, so we have decided to litter her across the many, many streets. Pepper wears a swatch. She prefers analog over digital. If I was to have my dog wear a watch, it would be a swatch. But I think one of the great things about being a dog is not having to wear a watch or be stylish. They're the few people who can run around naked, nobody says anything, and I think it's good for them. Let's see. Stephanie said that, I got it. Oh, I didn't hear the update on Debbie, but I trust that she's feeling better now. Please give her a big hug from me. She was amazing, naturally. She got sick about the same time I did, but she healed up in 2 days, and she spent the 2 days working around the house and taking care of sick me. I could barely get out of bed. So, but she's much, much better now. She's back at work. And we are, we are going to, tomorrow for my birthday, we are going to a place that she was planning on taking me on Saturday, but she had to rearrange things because she got sick. We're going to my favorite spot in the Smokies. Oh, okay, let's see. Tall, nothing like... Oh, it's Dad! Hey, Dad's here! Tall, too, not something I like to talk about. Dad made it. Glad to see it. And then DJ said, Craig's good. I was just chatting with him, eating a bag of popcorn, so when they cremate, it will be interesting. Huh. Eating a bag. Oh, I got you. I get the unpopped kernels. You smile. That's great. I want to go camping. You're not awake yet? I certainly understand that, Dad. Give it time. I'm not doing anything too intensive. And I want to go camping. Well, you should go camping. It's going to be wonderful. We're bringing the dogs this time, so we might not even be able to make it through. But they're hopefully the kids and my wife and me and the dogs. And at my favorite spot up in the Smokies. I love the Smokies. Ooh, you got a brand new tent, sleeping bag, and mattress a few years ago. I remember when you did that. You should definitely go camping. I'll tell you where the spot is. I'll show it to you on the map. It's right up there on the Tennessee-North Carolina border. You would love it. Glad to see you, Dad. I haven't even used the camp supply yet. Well, we will get it hooked up. We will get it hooked up. All right, let's spin the wheel. Hey, that's Miss Stephanie when you wake up. Dad and I love you. Hey, Zen Koan. Nice. Meet me at the campfire. Speaking of which, got a couple of Zen koans for you. Now, most of you know that Zen koans are tools for teaching Zen Buddhism. Some of them are very easy to solve. Some of them have no solution at all. Some of them just make you go, let's see what kind we have today. This is Zen koan number 61, Gudo and the Emperor. The Emperor Goyotse was studying Zen under Gudo. He inquired, in Zen, this very mind is Buddha, is that correct? Gudo answered, if I say yes, you will think that you understand without understanding. If I say no, I would be contradicting a fact, which many understand quite well. On another day, the emperor asked Gudo, where does the enlightened man go when he dies? Gudo answered, I know not. Why don't you know? Asked the emperor. Because I have not died yet, replied Gudo. The emperor hesitated to inquire further about these things his mind could not grasp. So Gudo beat the floor with his hand as if to awaken him, and the emperor was enlightened. The emperor respected Zen and old Gudo more than ever after his enlightenment, and he even permitted Gudo to wear his hat in the palace in winter. When Gudo was over 80, he used to fall asleep in the midst of his lecture, and the emperor would quietly retire to another room so his beloved teacher might enjoy the rest his aging body required. Let's see. I know that your dad used to take you camping down in Georgia at that beautiful spot. Did all the heavy lifting, so I was a little spoiled, and I'm not sure how I'd do without my dad to do all the hard stuff, like pitching the tent, hanging the tarps, etc. I started working without tarps for the most part, but I can teach you how to pitch a tent. It's pretty easy to do if you got the right one. I might have asked you this before, but you were Boy Scout. I was in Boy Scouts. My dad was a Boy Scout leader. I believe I got thrown out for insubordination. I got in some kind of trouble for sure. Didn't make it all the way to Boy Scouts, but I did several years in Cub Scouts and a couple years in Weeblo. So I hated camping with the Boy Scouts because it was always in Florida, which is a very unpleasant place to camp. But I've started to love to camp after I hiked with my wife on the Appalachian Trail. Let's see, maybe I'd be fine. It's scary. It's scary by yourself. I understand that. Camping, I mean, no, I didn't. I didn't hate the camping at the time. Love to see me dressed up in my Cub Scout uniform. I'll see if I can find a copy of that somewhere. No, I didn't. Did I love camping in Florida? I mean, that would be a great Halloween costume. On one of my legs, I'm sure it would be great. Then the other one could be a Girl Scout, and then as I walk, they fight. We can make it work. I love it when I tell my childhood stories and Dad corrects me. He probably knows as well as I do. Probably better. Hey, let's spin the wheel. Oh, yeah, hold on. Wisdom. Wonderful. Let's go to the wisdom. Lay down some wisdom from on high. Now, you just asked me, who is the bald white comedian with a mustache who does pro wrestling? Hold on, I had it. Because he did stand up, but he didn't wear the Boy Scout, the Man Scout. That's the Man Scout Jake Manning. That's his professional name. And I believe he's still wrestling very well. I think he's still working pretty much constantly. I don't know how much stand-up he does nowadays, and I know I don't hear about him in Charlotte much, but I know he's still working as the Man Scout Jake Manning. All right, let's see. That's what dads do. Okay, I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's why we got to chat. Okay, let's see. I got some wisdom from Alan Watts, and I got some wisdom from Albert Einstein. Let's start with the Albert Einstein because it's simple. I like this one. This is a good birthday one. Do not grow old, no matter how long you live. Never cease to stand like curious children before the great mystery into which we were born. Lovely. Spin the wheel. Jake Manning, that's it. Ooh, acapella library. All right, got a couple of songs picked out here. Move the mic up a bit. There we go. It is good advice. He's a smart guy, that Einstein. They didn't call him that, like, sarcastically. Hey, it's good advice, Einstein. All right, we got a couple of songs. Let's see. The first one is one of Dad's favorite, well, at least one of my favorites by one of Dad's favorite artists. This is A Very Good Year. It was written by a man named Irvin Drake, originally for the I forget the name of the band. It doesn't matter. It was made famous by the great Frank Sinatra. And it's one of my favorites. So please forgive me as I sing an a cappella version of A Very Good Year by Irvin Drake. When I was 17, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for small-town girls and soft summer nights. We'd hide from the lights on the village green when I was 17. When I was 21, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for city girls who lived up the stair with all that perfumed hair. And it came undone when I was 21. When I was 35, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for blue-blooded girls of independent means. We'd ride in limousines their chauffeurs would drive when I was 35. And that's the end of that. And then there's another verse that was added by Frank Sinatra that I don't have, about the autumn of the year. And I think of my wife as vintage wine and something kegs. Some of the dregs. I'll figure it out. Shannon said, "No, that's very nice of you to say. Thank you very much." I'm actually very unhappy with my vibrato. I was trying to sing without vibrato, but it's very nice of you to say. Thank you so much. Let's see. So that was fun. I love your voice. I want you to read me a book on tape so I can keep it. You got it. Just tell me which book. And if you want to you can follow my TikTok stream, and that's just me reading. Nothing but me reading stuff. I'll be very happy to give it to you. Sounds like my life. Sounds like my life too, Dad. Except yours even more so. That's a great song. It's weird getting old, dirt. Not as bad as I thought it would be. But I'm still trying to figure it out. All right, enough of this. Let's spin the wheel. Who's got time for... Ooh, Monologue. Nice. Meet me at the theater. All right, I'm excited about this one. It is better than the alternative. Every day spent above ground is the first one, or is a good one, I've heard it said. I would like to do a monologue from one of my favorite television programs that nobody else in the world seems to have watched except me and Debbie. It's called Battlestar Galactica. It's by Ronald D. Moore. This monologue is by a character who's named Cavil. Cavil is a Cylon. He is a synthetic human being who looks exactly like a real human being. He was created by 5 other Cylons, which were robots, to look like a human being and to feel like a human being. And he has started the war with the human beings for the most part because he doesn't want to be a human being. And it's him explaining why. So this is from Battlestar Galactica. This is Cavil's speech. He is speaking to one of his creators. In all your travels, have you ever seen a star go supernova? I have. I saw a star explode and send the building blocks of the universe. Other stars, other planets, and eventually other life. A supernova. Creation itself. I was there. I wanted to see it and be a part of the moment. And do you know how I perceived one of the most glorious events in the universe? With these ridiculous, gelatinous orbs in my skull, with eyes designed to perceive only a tiny fraction of the EM spectrum, with ears designed only to hear vibrations in the air. I don't want to be human. I want to see gamma rays. I want to hear X-rays, and I want to smell dark matter. Do you see the absurdity of what I am? I can't even express these things properly because I have to conceptualize complex ideas in this stupid, limited spoken language. But I know I want to reach out with something other than these prehensile paws and feel the wind of a supernova flowing over me. I'm a machine, and I can know much more. I can experience so much more, but I'm trapped in this absurd body. And why? Because my creators thought that God wanted it that way. It's a great show. Wonderful show, very well written, and I enjoy it a lot. Whoop, dad joke. Hold on, I missed it. Oh, I didn't know it was a dad joke. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Hey, did you hear about the movie version of the Merriam-Webster Dictionary? I didn't hear about that. What's it like? Movie version of the Merriam. I wonder why Merriam-Webster. Huh. All right. Oh, defining moment in cinema. Delightful. Let's go down to the jokes. It's a word about words. It's a joke about jokes. I love it. Let's do it. Let's go down, see if I can find my comedy club. There it is. Hey, did you hear they made a movie version of the Merriam-Webster's Dictionary? It was a defining moment in cinema. Fun. All right, let's spin the wheel. Where's the wheel? There it is. Poems. Excellent. Let's head down to the poetry corner. Defining moments. All right. Let's see. I've got two poems, one light, one heavy. Let's do the light one. This is a poem by Shel Silverstein from the book that was given to me from Shayna. Sorry, I got distracted by my own screen there. Shayna was kind enough to, when we had brunch last week or week before, whenever it was, she gave me a copy of the book, Everything on It by Shel Silverstein, and this is a poem from that book. Get the microphone ready here. There we go. I like this one. I think it's cute. This is The Romance by Shel Silverstein. Said the pelican to the elephant, I think we should marry, I do, 'cause there's no name that rhymes with me and no one else rhymes with you. Said the elephant to the pelican, there's sense to what you've said, for rhyming's as good a reason why as any for any two to be wed. And so the elephant wed the pelican, and they dined upon lemons and limes, and now they have a baby pelican, and everybody rhymes. Cute. Oh, Dad's got a joke. Dad said, when are sex and comedy alike? I don't know, when? Old and wrinkled? Oh, no, that's how he is. That's not the punchline to the joke. Oh, this is fun. Can't wait to find out with the joke. When are sex and comedy alike? While we think about that, let's spin the wheel. Oh, roses and thorns. Let's go, Chat Chalet, talk about the roses and thorns. Let's see. Roses and thorns. For those of you who may be tuning in who don't know for sure, roses and thorns are something we do in my family around the dinner table, where we talk about the bad things that happen to us, our thorns, and the good things that happen to us, our roses. We got 2 weeks worth, so let's see how I do. And please, what are your roses and thorns? Type them up over here in the chat, and we'll talk all about them. Let's see, roses, travel. We went straight through the night all the way down to Florida. We got to see Dad. We got to see my wife's parents. Their beautiful place in Florida. Got to stay there for 2 or 3 days. Had a birthday party. Got to see Dad. We watched Ted Lasso. That was all wonderful. Let's see, we watched the first Iron Man movie. It happened to come on TV. I really enjoyed that. But mostly just sat around talking together. It was really nice to see Dad. It was really nice to travel. I don't like being in Florida very much. I'm just generally uncomfortable existing in the state. But it was, they kept the houses nice and cool, and we had a really nice time seeing everybody. We played some board games over at the other house, and got COVID. So that was one of the roses. When we got home, I got sick right away, and I got really, really sick where I couldn't even get out of bed. It was very, very bad. It was like 5 days. I could barely. It was like being on kryptonite. I just had no energy whatsoever to get anything done. So that was rough, and I had to miss a show. I hate missing a show, and I was missing a show. Not only was I performing, but I was supposed to be one of the producers. We were doing a show called Funny on the Fly, where contestants react to a screen up on the stage, and they talk about the topics that we present. But I wasn't there to run the thing, so they had to do an entirely different show because I just didn't want to get everybody sick, and I didn't feel like I could do it. Let's go tell Dad's joke. Then I'll come back and tell you the rest of my roses and thorns. Let's see. Here we go. How is doing comedy like having good sex? If it ain't working after a couple minutes, try something new. There we go. There's some Dad for you. Go back to the Chat Chalet. All right. So let's go through yours. Roses, boss. Your boss thanked you for being awesome. I'm very glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that they appreciate that you're awesome and that they recognize that you're awesome. I think you're awesome too. Thank you for being here. Thorn, back issues 5 more pounds and I can have my surgery. I didn't know you were saving up to get the surgery. I'm really wishing you luck. Back surgery changed my life completely. Since the heart attack, I've been eating pretty much, except when we traveled, I ate a lot of road food and I gained a lot of weight. But since we've been home, we've been making prepackaged stuff. I'm eating chicken and broccoli and pasta salad and minestrone soup every day, which is great, and I love it. And it's helped a little bit with the weight, but I sure hope the back gets better for you. Which part is it? Is it sciatica? That's what got me, and it was unbelievable. It was just took the joy out of everything at first, anyway. I'm very happy to hear that you're almost there. Feel free to lie and tell them that you lost the 5 pounds just to get the scheduling going, you know. Let's see. And Gmail, Dad gave it. Thorn, you got pulled over for speeding and detained on the side of the road for about 30 minutes waiting for the police officer. I've been there. It's been a while, but I've been there. I'm surprised they did that to you. But the big rose was that after 30 minutes of waiting on the side of the highway, he let me off with a verbal warning. Hey, that is good news. He probably thought you had drugs, and once he figured out that you didn't have drugs, he let you on your way. That'd be my guess. I don't know, sure, depending on what your hair looked like that day, you know. Artists. L4 and 1. Ooh, bad. I have a feeling there's more sentence to come, and I look forward to hearing it. L4 and L5. Oh, man. Are you going to get a fusion? Are you getting, they had to pull a thing out and fuse a thing with me. I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff anymore, but I hope they can take care of it for you. That sounds awesome. How about you, Dad? How's your week? What are your roses and thorns? I'd very much like to hear about that. And Shayna, you've got more roses and thorns, don't you? Let's see. I'm just trying to remember from your own, from your social media. You had your shop open this week. Oh, hey, I wanted to ask you something. I didn't know how to react. You posted some video of you making the people at an old folks' home dance. Now, I'm probably not supposed to say old folks' home. What do they call that? Living center? I don't know. But anyway, it would seem, I don't know if you were volunteered, if you were hired, if it was recently or it was several months ago. You don't age a lot, so it's hard to tell. But what were the pictures of you making the old folks jump? What was the context of that? Because I was confused and a little frightened. Just because I don't want anybody to get hurt. That gig wasn't at an active 55 plus. Okay, it's an active 55 plus community. They're supposed to be jumping around because they're active. Private gig, thrilled to hear it. That's great. I'm glad people have you on their list, and I'm glad that you get to go and do the corporate shows. For the comedians, corporate shows are always tricky, and folks at the 55 plus community, I used to do quite a few of those. Quite a few of those back in Florida, and it was just a matter of being almost clean, but not so clean that they felt like you were squeaking it up for them. I don't know. It was a sweet spot to find. But what are they like for you? Are they happy to see you? They know you're coming? Are there posters? I'm always curious. And was it fun? Did you have a good time? Was it a rose or a thorn doing that show? Well, while you think about that, oh, wow. You've got three of them to do the limbo. Hopefully that was on purpose. But I have to admit, I was a little nervous about that. I'm a little nervous just hearing about it. I'm an active 45 plus, and I'm not that active, and I don't want to do the limbo. Well, tell me all about it when you can, but let's spin the wheel. Let's see what's next. Oop, wrong button. Wrong button. No. I'm only doing private gigs now, at least for now. Makes sense. Back to the Shakespeare stage. Oh, nice, Shakespeare. I know it gives you a great deal of joy to do those shows. What is the package called? Is that the DJ Shenanigan Super Show? Is it Fun with DJ Shenanigans? Is it Active? What's the title that you use when you're selling the program so that I can refer to it properly? I'm just curious. Lots of work in Florida for that kind of thing. At the very least, I can recommend you if somebody asks me, And why'd you decide to stay? It's tricky to bring people in. That was the problem I always had with producing comedy shows is I do very well at performing comedy shows, but I never built up the skill or fame to draw a large audience where selling tickets is a money-making. That's it. Thank you. Music Trivingo. It's trivia and bingo. And occasionally you get up and you jump. Thank you very much. Music Trivingo. That's the one. All right, let's do some Shakespeare for Dad. This is from the Scottish play. This is a tough one. This is advanced, but I'm going to try my best. All right, here we go. This is this a dagger I see before me. For those of you who are not familiar with the Scottish play at this point, the hero of the play at the beginning anyway, Macbeth, this is in the theater, is it? It's a comedian. Anyway, the guy, the Scottish play guy. You know who he is? Anyway, he is having the king over, sort of like a party. He just won a big battle, and so he invited the king and all his entourage to come over, and his wife talked him, spoiler alert, his wife talked him into murdering the king. He's not sure he wants to murder the king, but he's walking towards the king's chamber where the king is asleep and thinking about killing him, and then he sees something that surprises him. So this is from the Scottish play. Is this a dagger I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight, or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat oppressed brain. I see thee yet, in form as palpable as for this which I now draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes now. Or the one half-world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder are larumed by his sentinel, the wolf, whose howls his watch. Thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design, moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds, too cold breath gives. Huh? I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell. That's fun. I love Shakespeare. Music Trivingo! Let's read more about it. It's a fun, high-speed, interactive mashup between trivia and music bingo with all sorts of wild, wacky contests mixed in. Nice language. Love it. I wish you could have been to one of my shows so you could experience it for yourself. I think you'd really like it. No dancing, limbo, etc. is required. I'd cheer you on, but I would, oh man, what you do scares, there we go. All right. What you do scares me so much. A lot of people who win the game don't necessarily do the extra contests like hula hooping, jumping. I don't even like playing games where I could win or lose, but people, it sounds tiring. See, Dad gets it. We're chair people. I like sitting in my chair and not jumping around too much, but I love you, and I'm glad things are going well. All right, let's keep it moving. Spin the wheel. Joe, meet me at the comedy club. I was talking to Dad about you when we were visiting. And we were trying to get our heads straight around the 24 hours straight of hula hooping, or 26 hours straight of hula hooping. Like how many breaks there were, the mechanics, were you standing on a box, was it lit? Did anybody know you were doing it? Were you just downtown hula hooping by yourself? And how did that come about? Okay, here's a joke. Let's see, he's a prisoner. He goes into prison for this very first day, and he sees a whole bunch of older prisoners sitting together on the yard there, and they're laughing. So he sort of inches his way over, and he's trying to see what they're laughing about. And here's one of the prisoners go, 27. Everybody laughs. Another guy goes, 8. Everybody laughs and laughs. So the prisoner, he's confused. He finds one of the old timers. He says, hey, listen, I can't help but notice the guys over there, they're just saying numbers, and everybody's laughing. What's that all about? And the old timer, he says, well, we've known each other for so long. We've heard all of each other's jokes. And we've heard the joke so many times that we just assign a number to it. Let's just say the number and we think of the joke. So the new guy, he's trying to impress everybody, walks up, hey, everybody, 3. Everybody just stares at him. 27, fellas. Hey, 8. Nobody laughs. The old timer pulls him off to the side and says, listen, son, some people could tell a joke. There we go. That's fun for the whole family. Let's spin the wheel. 26 hours and 34 minutes. Goodness gracious. Oh, pros. Good, I got some pros for Dad. Let's meet in the pros library. 26 straight. I would love to read a whole article about that. It's a fascinating choice. I don't know why. I don't know how. Just the mechanics of it. I can't do 24 seconds. I'm just not built for hula hooping. Mine sort of sticks on like sort of a belt that doesn't quite fit. Yeah. All right, so Dad, I have picked out for you and for me, because I also love George Carlin, a couple of Carlin pieces for today's Mania. Oh, I hear that. That explains a lot. Thank you. Okay. That I get. I absolutely get that. Dad, I picked out this piece for you. It's a short one by George Carlin. I hope you enjoy it. This is called I Wish I Had My Money Back by George Carlin. You ever wonder who empties the wishing wells? That's our money. I've never received an accounting. It's just gone. Someone apparently is emptying the wishing wells and keeping the money, and I'm wondering whether or not that cancels out the wishes. Suppose it's a wish that takes time to come true, like if you wish some friend of yours would develop cancer. That takes time. How can it come true if your nickel has already been rolled into a wrapper and deposited in a bank? And when does this coin retrieval take place? I'm sure they don't do it on Sunday afternoon as some little girl is tossing in a penny, wishing for her daddy to come back from heaven. No, they probably do it at 3 in the morning, wearing black t-shirts and ski masks. I think this has gone far enough. I want to know what's going on. My friend is still perfectly healthy, and I'm concerned. There you go, little George Carlin. All right. What? Who's Nonsequently's here? Yay! Oh, I'm so glad I put it up. I have a monologue just for you, but I was saving it until you came. I'm so glad. Dad said Carlin is good. Hey, I like him too. And Nonsequently said hello. So just out of sheer mania, just to bring you up to speed what we're talking about, Nonsequently, my sister is here. My sister Stephanie. My dad is here. He's J Mill H2O, DJ Shayna. You know Shayna quite well. From the stream here. We were just talking about Shayna. She hula hooped for 26 straight hours once to win the world record, but she didn't tell the world record people. She just did it to see if she could, and I was asking her what the situation was, why, and she just gave me one answer to respond, mania, which is a great answer for that. Full-blown mania is a powerful thing. You can really get some stuff done that way. How true that is. How you doing? You all right? Haven't seen you in a few weeks. I missed you. Sorry I missed last week. I had COVID. Now, I don't think you could have caught it online, but I record here at a comedy club. See, that's a comedy club behind me, and I don't want to get people sick. So I didn't want to do it last week. This week, I just did it on a whim. That's kind of awesome. She's okay now. Yeah, I'm okay. Oh, me. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I had 5-6 days, really, really rough. Could barely sleep, could barely breathe, couldn't get out of bed at all. I felt like I had kryptonite around my neck. As a personal challenge and a social experiment. Now you've got my attention. What was the social experiment? Did people approach you as you were hula hooping and ask you why? Did you have a sign? Were you collecting money for charity? Were you pretending to collect money for charity and then just keeping it for yourself to buy new hula hoops? Was it just one hula hoop around your waist, or did you do the arm thing and then you do the other arm thing and then you do like 5 or 6 of them at the same time? You know, I'm always curious about the mechanics of it. And what were your social interactions like with the people who walked upon you hula hooping? Long week. All right, it was a long week for me too. How you doing this weekend? I'm glad it's over. Glad the hard part's over. What was a hassle? Was it work? They're always wearing you out at work. I'm glad you're pretty well now, though. All right. I pen a lot of questions your way. Let's spin the wheel. We'll keep things moving. Zen Koan. Hey, all right. Meet me at the campfire. Before I get in there, all work-related stuff that'll stress you out, especially in your line of work. Still haven't gotten my job fully funded. Who's giving you the business? Is it the city? Is it the state? Is it the county? Is it the country? Everything's going nuts around here in North Carolina. But I've had a great weekend, so it's all good. Very glad to hear about that. Work is a four-letter word. Work! Dad's been retired for quite some time and likes to tell anybody who can. The social interaction were my favorite part of the whole experience. I can't wait to hear all about them. Let me tell it Zen Koan, and then I'll read what you wrote. This is Zen Koan number 62, entitled In the Hands of Destiny. A great Japanese warrior named Nobunaga decided to attack the enemy, although he had only 1/10 the number of men the opposition commanded. He knew that he would win, but his soldiers were in doubt. On the way, he stopped at a Shinto shrine and told his men, "After I visit the shrine, I will toss a coin. If the head comes, we will win. If the tails comes, we will lose. Destiny holds us in her hand." Nobunaga entered the shrine and offered a silent prayer. He came forth and tossed a coin. Heads appeared. His soldiers were so eager to fight that they won their battle easily. "No one can change the hand of destiny," his attendant told him after the battle. "Indeed not," said Nobunaga, showing a coin which had been doubled with heads facing either way. Cheated, but that's all right. Social interactions were my favorite part, and it's a long story. If you don't want to tell it, I understand, but we got time. I'm just sitting here talking. But mainly my boss is a jerk. I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope you're the boss soon, and I hope you're a better boss than he is. Jerk. I'm saying he. I don't know for sure. I don't mean to misgender your boss. I don't know what kind of... Anyway, you get what I'm talking about. Stop being a jerk. You can tell him Johnny said so, and it will mean nothing. Spin the wheel. Wisdom. Marvelous. Let's stay down some wisdom from on high. Oh, this is nice. I shocked myself because before my bipolar disorder was triggered in 1999, I was very shy and would never do anything to put myself in the spotlight. I did not know that bipolar disorder was triggered. That is a surreal experience, yes. But I would like to hear what the conversations were like. I remember we have a mutual friend who went around the country dressed as a crab. She had a big mask of a crab. She would stand on corners and make videos of her being a crab, and then people would come by and talk to her. And I'm fascinated by that whole thing. I've had some fun with mania myself. I think the whole podcast that we worked on was, about half of that was mania on my part. Trying really hard to make it all work when it wasn't going to work. Anyway, tell me more about your experience with the hula hoops and with the people talking to you. I'm curious. And while you do that, I would like to share some wisdom from Alan Watts. This is Watts. He responded to someone saying, "What's your mission in life?" There is no mission nor interest to convert, and yet I believe that if this state of consciousness could become more universal, the pretentious nonsense which passes for the serious business of the world would dissolve in laughter. We should see at once that the high ideals for which we are killing and regimenting each other are empty and abstract substitutes for the unheeded miracles that surround us, not only in the obvious wonders of nature, but also in the overwhelming, uncanny fact of mere existence. Yeah, it is a miracle that we exist. Any of it exists. So let's see, this is interesting. Nonsequently says that mood disorders are tough because often they don't present until someone's 20s. Very nice. I was so messed up as my teens, I thought it was the same disorder that I had in my 20s. Might have been a different disorder. Going out to eat, love you, family and friends. Great to see you. Thank you, Stephanie. Enjoy your food. Hope to see you next week. I, too, wasn't aware of mental illness could lay dormant for years and triggered by cannabis. Really? Good to know. All right. Stephanie says bye to Dad. All right. It's starting to come together. I didn't start smoking until I was 23, but I was always very hyper as a young man. I don't know. External factors like trauma, sure. I missed so much not going to college. I didn't do it. I never touched it in college, Dad. If you're interested, I barely drank and I didn't smoke weed until after I graduated. And then I discovered I liked it a lot. But yeah, my bipolar's been all over the place. I've been using it to treat my bipolar. So, good to know. So, around that age, it started manifesting itself. Was the hula hooping incident one of the first manifestations? Or how did it start? Did it ever get dangerous? I mean, that sounds a little wacky, but you're not going to get hurt, you know? Sometimes the ideas are downright crazy. Crazy is the wrong word. Sometimes the ideas are downright dangerous. And I'm always curious about those. All right. Do we lay down the wisdom? We lay down the wisdom. Let's spin the wheel. Let's do a song. Meet me in the acapella library. Let's see. Before we go, a little one-liner from Dad. I drank like a sailor when I was in the Navy. The classics. This is a song by my favorite musician, Ben Folds, a man who sings with no vibrato whatsoever, which I admire. This is a song he wrote for his son. And it's a song about getting old. It's called Still Fighting It by Ben Folds, off his first album, Rockin' the Suburbs. Good morning, sun. I am a bird wearing a brown polyester shirt. You want a Coke? Maybe some fries? The roast beef combo's only $9.95. It's okay, you don't have to pay. I've got all the change. Everybody knows it hurts to grow up, and everybody does. It's so weird to be back here. Let me tell you what, the years go on and we're still fighting it. We're still fighting it, and you're so much like me. I'm sorry. Good morning, son. 20 years from now, maybe we'll both sit down and have a few beers. And I can tell you about today and how I picked you up and everything changed. It was pain, sunny days and rain. I knew you'd feel the same things. Everybody knows it sucks to grow up, and everybody does. It's so weird to be back here. Let me tell you what, the years go on and we're still fighting it. We're still fighting it. You'll try and try, and one day you'll fly away from me. Marvelous song. Here's some things. Shayna says she was a normal college kid until my senior year. Typical, not normal. I wouldn't. I don't like either of those words, to be honest with you. Thank you for letting this be a safe place to discuss mental illness. It's a happy place. I've got severe mental illnesses that I've dealt with most of my life. I'm happy to talk to anybody who wants to talk about it. Dad, you never really talked about your feelings much. Did you go through depression or anything like that? My mom told me not to worry if people call you. What type of blood? Oh, here's a joke. All right. Whoops. What type of blood do pessimists always have? What type of blood? Never had time. Gotcha. People calling. Never had time to be depressed. He's working too hard. Ain't got time to bleed. That's my dad. You tell him. What type of blood do pessimists always have? I don't know. What kind of blood? I don't know. B negative. I like it. To the jokes. To the comedy club. Here we go. What blood type do pessimists have? B negative. Fun. All right, let's spin the wheel. Monologue. Marvelous. Meet me in the theater, please. All right, this is very exciting for me because it's our first monologue request from Nonsequently. I'm a big fan of Nonsequently. She's given me lots of poem requests and lots of fun stuff that I've learned about. This is from a show I never got to see, but she sent me this a few weeks ago, and I promised that I would do it. I haven't watched the show yet, but I have watched a couple people do the monologue, so I have a basic idea of where he is emotionally when he's speaking to the camera. This is a monologue from Ängels in America by Tony Kushner. I'm going to take a sip of water. Sorry about that, folks at home. And we'll give it a shot. It's heavy, but it's amazing. We can't just stop. We're not rocks. Progress, migration, motion is modernity. It's animate. It's what living things do. We desire. Even if all we desire is stillness, it's still desire for even if we go faster than we should. We can't wait. Wait for what? God? God, he isn't coming back. And even if he did, if he ever did come back, if he ever dared to show his face or his glyph or whatever in the garden again, if after all this destruction, if after all the terrible days of this terrible century, he returned to see how much suffering his abandonment had created, if all he has to offer is death, you should sue the bastard. That's my only contribution to all this theology. Sue the bastard for walking out. How dare he? He ought to pay. I want more life. I can't help myself. I do. I've lived through such terrible times, and there are people who live through much worse, but you see them living anyway. When they're more spirit than body, more sores than skin, when they're burned and in agony, when flies lay eggs in the corner of the eyes of their children, they live. Death usually has to take life away. I don't know if that's just the animal. I don't know if it's not braver to die, but I recognize the habit, the addiction to being alive. We live past hope. If I can find hope anywhere, that's it. That's the best I can do. It's so much not enough, so inadequate, but bless me anyway. I want more life. Powerful stuff. Thank you, Nonsequently, for sending that my way. Oh, here's a quick question. I haven't heard a good fart joke in a while. I don't know if I've ever heard a good fart joke. Here's Shayna. She says, what do you call someone who never farts in public? Never farts in public. I don't know. What do you call them? Yeah, breaks the tension. Appreciate you being here for that. What do you call someone who never farts in public? We'll find out right after this. Oh, poem. Nice. Meet me in the poetry corner. All right. Let's see. I'll do that joke in just a minute, but for now, I'd like to read you this poem. This is another one that's, well, Dad liked the joke. This is As Time Goes By, Donna Ashworth. As time goes by, you will loosen your grip on that rock, the one you always thought was home, and you will realize that home is not a place. It's a state of mind. Let it go. As time goes by, you will learn to see yourself more clearly. The girl who was always too much of one thing and too little of another was actually everything she needed to be. Let her out. As time goes by, you will let the simple things become the big, and you will allow the big things to become the simple. And that readjustment will be the day you really start to live. As time goes by, you'll be forced to say goodbye many times, and your soft little heart will shatter, but it will still beat, and that will bring you all the purpose you need. Let it beat. As time goes by, you will stop choosing wealth over peace. You will stop choosing money over time, and you will see that the treasures you need are in the smiles and the laughter. Let them in. As time goes by, the moments you remember when your life flashes past are never the awful memories, my friend. It's the joy, the summer nights, the lazy days with loved ones, the midnight chats and the morning hugs. Let them happen. Let them all happen. Lovely. Got Shayna's joke. Let's do Shayna's joke real quick. I enjoyed that one. Meet me in the comedy club. There we go. And then I'll tell you my favorite fart joke. I only know one fart joke. I'll tell you that fart joke just a second. But first, here's Shayna's fart joke. Her fart joke says, and I'm quote, "What do you call someone who never farts in public? A private tutor." All right. Here's my favorite fart joke. An old man goes into the doctor's office and he sits down and says, "Oh, doctor, I've been having this pain the past 2 or 3 weeks, and it's causing me, it's causing me to have these farts, these little teeny tiny farts. Oh, it's just all day long, these little farts, you're completely silent. You can't hear them, but I can feel them, and it's just constantly farting all day long, these silent farts." And the doctor says, "First of all, you're going deaf." I like that one. That's my favorite fart joke. Am I a public tutor? Well, if it comes down to it, only around my dad or my son, for some reason. Those two groups I feel comfortable around. Besides that, no, I try to be as silent as I possibly can. Now, Shayna says, I've heard doctors say the average person farts around 13 to 14 times a day. I've never kept track. Average? Yeah, I'd say I'm about average. I won't ask about you. I'm not even curious about such things, to be perfectly honest. Nonetheless, I want to thank you guys for watching. I had some fun today. It's already 12:25, so we're going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for coming out to the big show. Hope to see you next Sunday at the same time. Send each other messages, and I look forward to seeing you soon. And until next time, remember, the only way to save this country and ourselves is for us to love one another. So love yourself first. Then find somebody else to love. Then, if you can, love everybody. That's what I'm trying to do. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep shining through, just like you always do, and the blue skies will push the dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to the folks that I know and tell 'em I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Thanks for watching. Until next time, remember, be good, but not too good. Bye. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Dad's always been above average.